Hello, everybody. Casey Burlaw, Superintendent of the Carroll Community School District. Today, I'm giving you an update, a recap of our board meeting, which was on Tuesday, July 21st. There's really everything I'm going to talk about is related to school returning or starting on in August here. So, number one, we are still planning to start school on August 25th. That's the plan, and unless circumstances change in our county or in the state, that's still the plan. Secondly, we have a survey out there that over 730 people have responded to so far, and we're hoping to get around 1,000. So if you haven't filled that out, you can go to our website. There's a link there. It'll take you a couple minutes, and we hope that you'll do that. Another option would be to call the office, 792-8001, and we'd be happy to mail you a paper copy of that you can fill out and return to us. So there's definitely options there, but we'd really like to have more folks fill that out so we can use that information to finalize decisions. Secondly, we'll hold a special board meeting on August 5th, and at that time the board will take action on the official plan to start school. So that's kind of the timeline that we're shooting for, and I'm sure that there'll be information and things that come out between now and August 5th that'll help inform that decision, including the data we get from not only our parent survey but a staff survey that's going to be going out. Another big thing that we talked about was transportation. Some key things you need to know about transportation this year. Number one, if it's possible for your family to transport your children to school this year, to and from school, we'd ask you to start planning to do that if at all possible. That will help us reduce the number of kids on the bus. We are going to operate and offer school transportation, but it's going to look different this year. The biggest change will be as we think about what our legal responsibilities are around school transportation and the number of kids that we have on a bus on a normal basis. The in-town busing in Carroll is not going to be available like it has been in the past. So that's the big change right now. We are moving forward with a plan where we would have no more than 2 kids in a seat. We would set siblings together. There will be assigned seats on the bus, those kind of things. And at this point, based on the information we have, we believe we can transport students that live more than 2 miles from our elementary attendance centers and more than 3 miles from the high school. We would be able to transport those students. And so more information will be coming out. Of course, if you have questions, you can call our district office or the transportation office, and we'd be happy to answer those questions. But that's kind of where things stand with transportation. Some of the key mitigation strategies that we talked about as we think about students being in the building to start the year. Number one, we'll have cleaning procedures that our custodians will follow, products, procedures in place for the start of the school year, and be able to communicate that with staff and families so you understand what we're doing in the area of cleaning and disinfecting. We have the chemicals that we need, and we'll continue to purchase those. We have some new equipment that'll help make that process a little more efficient. And then, overall, the big thing is there's just going to need to be more of it, more cleaning, more disinfecting, especially those high-touch areas. And so during the day, that'll be there hasn't normally been a ton of cleaning that goes on during the school day. That'll have to change this year, and we're taking steps to make sure that happens. Another thing, lunchrooms, hallways, recess, all that are building level. At the building level, they'll be making decisions on the best ways to do that. As we think about trying to keep kids spaced and avoid as much close contact as we can. You may be wondering about the 6 feet of distance. That's still out there as a requirement. If you looked at the CDC guidance, it does talk about for schools, maintain 6 feet of distance where feasible. In schools, it's not always feasible if you think about different parts of the day to maintain that 6 feet of distance. So we're looking at the best that we can do in creating as much distance as we can. And that's going to vary and look different from building to building, from situation to situation. But that's kind of the planning that we're doing right now. Fall sports, we don't know yet. We know that there's planning going on to be able to have those. We've not seen what the plan is, so right now we're on hold on that. But it's my understanding that there's a plan to be able to hold fall sports, but right now no final decision's been made on that. Air ventilation in the buildings is something that people ask about at times. We have HVA systems in our buildings that are different. Some of them are newer, some of them are older, some have multiple systems that have been added over time, and the ability for them to function together is not always great. But really what we're doing there is evaluating how our systems operate. The systems that we have that bring fresh air in, which is what current modern systems do. We're evaluating our settings, trying to align those where they need to be, and also setting our controls so that those systems run longer compared to what we've done in the past. So that's kind of where we're at with ventilation. Obviously, we have different ages of buildings throughout the district, so it's going to vary from building to building what's going on there. So we'll have plans for all that. Lunch is going to, it's going to look different in each building, but we'll use the lunchroom where we can, where it's appropriate, with kids being able to be spaced. Schedules are being looked at, so all that's being done to put things in place to keep staff and students as safe as possible. The final thing I wanted us to talk about in the area of mitigation would be face coverings. We know that that's something that there's strong feelings about on both sides, and we're continuing to try to gather information and review as much as we can about face coverings to inform a decision about whether they're required or not. So stay tuned on that, and August 5th will be the date where a final decision is made on that. The last thing I want to talk about was the board did approve us hiring another school nurse. Last year we had 2.5 nurses in the district. This year, now with the action the board took, we will have 3.5. So we're in the process of that job's posted, and we'll be working on filling that position. That will be a 1-year position at this time, and so we know that there's going to be additional responsibilities on our nurses because of COVID-19. So that was a move that we made in the district as well. And with our school nurses and the staff in general, we will be working very closely with our local public health department when there are cases. We know there are going to be cases in our school among students, staff, and we'll work with public health on, quarantine times, when those dates start, when they end, and so we're going to need folks to understand that we're going to follow those procedures. And again, there's different opinions on whether those are the right guidance or not, but those are the things that we're going to follow this year. So please keep that in mind. And we're definitely going to be leaning on the side of, if you're sick, if you have any symptoms, we need you to stay home. And we want people to be symptom free for 72 hours is our plan starting the school year before they return to school. So be keeping that in mind as you plan for school. What are those backup plans you may need to make if a child's sick and has to be out of school for 3 days. So those are the main things I wanted you to be aware of. I appreciate your patience, and I think patience and flexibility are two things that we're all going to need this year, and so keep that in mind. But I hope you all have a good rest of the summer, and we look forward to school on the 25th of August, and we want folks to stay safe. Anything you can do between now and then to do your part in keeping the virus from spreading, I encourage you to do that. So thanks again. Have a good day, and go Tigers.